All right, I'm going to go live a little early just to stay ahead of the curve. Crypto today, Fiat Leak, Wheat Leak. We'll look at Fiat Leak. USD still pouring into Bitcoin. Now I'm seeing other countries, the euro pouring in, a little British pound, which you don't see a lot, the Korean won, and the Japanese yen. They love it, man. They love it. Where's the Chinese yen, though? You know, why is it all Japan? And now what is this little Canadian dollar going in there? Look at the Canadians. Just a little bit. It's a little bit. Brazil. A few coins coming out of Brazil. I don't see that a lot. Very rare. The ruble coming out there all the way to Russia. Look. This is tracking all of the exchanges in the world and showing you all the Bitcoin buys at once. Kind of just tracking the blockchain and showing you what's happening. This is really interesting. It's called Fiat Leak, and it shows you what's going on in the world of crypto. And you can see it visually, which is really cool. And again, the USD just winning outright. I mean, we have so much. They're printing the US dollar to smithereens, right? So only a matter of time. I definitely dabbled days, so look out for that video because I didn't think I would be entering into that conversation, but it's just something that is possible. Again, I won't bring it up here today. We'll stay on topic with the markets, but Bitcoin hovering. We're going to redo all my Bitcoin work, and we're going to do a deep dive into Bitcoin. We're going to really as a group try to figure out what we're feeling, what's going on. I do like where it is on the weekly chart right now. Some more downside, obviously, but it looks, for the most part, it looks strong coming out of the MACD cross here. Last time we were in this pink area, we got here, we had a run up. Last time we were in the pink area here, we got a run up. And a little bit of a run up right there. So this pink area coming up on the MACD is kind of my indication. Yeah. Got some cool articles too, looking at the correlation of oil. Bitcoin's price action resembles a bearish Wycoff distribution. On March 20th, Bitcoin reached a high of 6,900. Since then, it's been mostly trading in a range between 61 and 6,900, with the exception of a failed break attempt on March 27th. On April 2nd, the price initiated a rapid upward move and reached a high of 71.92. However, the higher prices could not be sustained, and Bitcoin fell back into this range. Yeah, I did not FOMO into that. I was in at 5,300. It would have been nice to have sold there, right? Made a nice $2,000. I ended up selling at like 6,500, which I thought was good enough, right? I mean, I got in the middle there. One of the most well-known patterns for this type of movement is the Wycoff Distribution. Well-known trader Crypto Newton outlined its phases, which very closely resemble the current Bitcoin price movement, especially when taking into account yesterday's increase. If the pattern persists, Bitcoin price is expected to decrease below 6,100 support area. Interesting. That's a lot, though, but it's possible, right? Wycoff phases. This is a bearish distribution. The price movement has undergone several phases, which are outlined in the image below. The initial test of 6,800 resistance area was buying climax, while the subsequent downward movement towards the support area 6,100 would be considered the automatic response. Yeah, I definitely think we're going to get back into this range. I'm waiting to unload one last time and just get one more low. I'm waiting. I'm being patient, and I could be waiting myself right out of the table, but we'll see. I'm being patient. Again, the title of the video here, huge warning, get out of the stock market. Might want to change that so I don't have a typo in my title, right? I am human. I run this all by myself, but anyway. All right, one more minute to go and we will be live. Gold doing really well as well. Okay, let's look at the Dow. The Dow down 25 points. I told you the Dow really needed to hold this level here, 21,695. It did not. It wicked out, but it could not hold it. As you can see, we battled with it here. We bounced off it here. It was previous support. Now it's going to become resistance. Extremely important that if we don't make it through. Now we're in between here. If we don't break there, we break this 20,405, which is basically 20,000 psychological. We go down to 19,800, and then boom, back to this 18,000 where we bounced right off of. Somewhat of a V-shaped recovery on the weekly. On the daily, you see it a lot better. but we're starting a new downtrend again. We do have a higher low here, but in my opinion, it's a fake out. We're going to see the Dow hit 10,000. This is why I'm warning everybody to get out of your stock market right now. Stop playing games with your money. Stop thinking and wishing it's over. Get your money out of the stock market. Stop, this one's going to be good. These are good plays for later. They're going to collapse the U.S. dollar. That's in my opinion. I said it here first. They will collapse the U.S. dollar. Once that happens, they're going to be a whole new system. They're going to basically reset the monetary system. There's going to be a lot of debt preservation, and basically monetization of debt is the only way out. Here's just an interesting excerpt that I was watching. A lot of debt preservation, and they're basically monetization. And let's see, this guy has some good information.
And we know that central banks have spent a lot of time understanding that dynamic. I mean, that was the crux of Bernanke's work, was the study of the Great Depression and ensuring that we never went through that again. But it's not just Bernanke. So there's a wide swathe of academics who sit in these positions that have studied that and feel like they understand it. So I think the probability of us going down that path is much less than it would otherwise be. It's like the general always fights the last war, right? If you always got attacked through that door, you kind of know that you got to barricade that door, and that's what you focus on, because you're like, I'm not letting that happen again. So I don't think the probability of a 1929 style deflationary outcome is very high. That combined with the fact that we've had this increasing attention to MMT, and many people suggesting that that's both reasonable and will produce the results that they anticipate, I think leads us down that path. So that path is quite different. So, and it, to be clear, it would be inflationary. I can't see any other outcome, or to be more specific, stagflationary, as in you can have an inflationary outcome. Previously, our inflationary outcomes were as a consequence of global growth. And that's another problem. People say, well, you can't have inflation because growth's falling. Well, that's just rubbish. You can easily have an inflation in any particular asset price, whether you have a broad deflationary environment or a broad inflationary environment. We just think about something like Asian swine flu or Asian bird flu. In those instances, so like with Asian bird.
Yeah, no, there is no V-shaped recovery. We already had the V-shaped recovery, Scott O'Leary, right here. Here was the V-shaped recovery. Now, in a V-shaped recovery, this should keep going back up to the previous high of 2,400. We couldn't break it. I basically have proof here that we're in a bad shape, and this is why. We're below all the moving averages right now, okay? So forget what your financial advisor says. We're below all the moving averages. We're reset to become oversold again. We never got into the overbought region. We would have to see a huge pump for that to happen. You have nationwide. Yeah, it's not happening. He wants it to happen because, think about it, he makes money when you talk to him, right? Yeah, you definitely should call him out. He's saying whatever he can say to try to suck you back in. I mean, he's an addicted gambler. Your financial advisor is an addictive gambler. The man has been playing with people's money, your money, for a long time. This is what he does for a living. Very similar to, like a plumber who would want to cause a pipe to leak in your house. Like if he could, not too bad, but just bad enough where you have to call him again, right? He wants to stay relevant. He wants you to think you need him. So he's obviously going to keep pushing the agenda of the stock market. If the stock market collapses, he's out of a job, right? And he's one of the few people still working right now. You have to realize where his idea comes from. We're talking to a subscriber, Scott O'Leary here, who said his financial advisor said V-shaped recovery. We already had a V-shaped recovery, as you can see clearly. And there's indications. He's a licensed fiduciary, so he's legally entitled to give me good info. But just like everyone else, he doesn't know everything. No, I mean, he's going to do whatever he can to stay, think about it. He joined the financial sector because he likes money, okay? He likes taking your money. What he does is whenever he makes your portfolio go up, he takes a percentage of your money. And that's basically what he's doing every day. So if he can't make money, he can't take for himself. So just be careful, too. These guys could start looting other people's stock accounts and selling them for themselves and then putting them into gold and basically creating an exit strategy with your money. This is something that's very possible, and with all the crazy downturns. So I say the Dow still goes to 10,000. I'm going to call it here and say it. I would sell every single stock I owned. I would not be in an equity. I have sold every stock I own. I do not hold any equities. Something we're going to look at today is the Baidu. It's definitely now coming across my radar yet again. It's something that may be really worth looking at. So we want to take a dive into that and look at what's going on with that. This is something interesting. Inside one NYC building where renters are going on strike.
My name is Anu Biswas, and I am going on rent strike in solidarity with my fellow tenants. You know, a lot of us have lost our jobs and income thanks to the COVID-19 crisis.
My name is Heike, and I'm on rent strike today because I believe that we shouldn't have to sacrifice food and medicine for our rent. And we're in a crisis situation, all of us together, and we need to do this together. And I'm not on a rent strike for myself. I'm on a rent strike for everyone in the city.
My name's Maria. I'm participating because I'm unemployed right now. I work in the restaurant industry, which is shut down. It's been terrifying. It took me a full week just to be able to apply for unemployment. And we were shut down 3 weeks ago. Some of my coworkers still aren't able to apply for unemployment because there's so many people applying. There's so many people that need financial help right now.
And I actually have a caveat to that. Looking at Zero Hedge yesterday, it's saying that unemployment in New York is insolvent and within 10 weeks. Yeah, tell me what's going on with unemployment. My wife finally got through. She basically messed up her logins and stuff, and so she couldn't just log in the regular way. She had to call and get assistance. Oh my God. And this is something, New York's unemployment fund will be insolvent in 2 months. So New York's unemployment fund will be insolvent in 2 months, with 92,000 total cases surging by 86,000 in one day and resulting in 2,373 deaths. New York has emerged the epicenter of the coronavirus. Just as concerning is that it's also among the states least prepared to deal with a record surge of unemployment claims by workers in restaurants, retail shops, hotels close to the slow outbreak. New York's unemployment insurance trust had about $2.7 billion at the end of 2019, less than half the minimum needed to remain solvent during a recession. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, Alas is now facing a depression. With claims skyrocketing, the state has enough money to cover the checks for only 10 weeks, according to an estimate by the Tax Foundation, a Washington-based think tank. New York's Unemployment Compensation Trust Fund is basically insolvent, wrote Jared Walzak, director of the state policy at Tax Foundation, as quoted by Bloomberg. Funds will be exhausted even more quickly should unemployment compensation claims continue to rise. Yeah, make that 10 weeks, 8 weeks. Not good. Almost 10 million Americans applied for unemployment benefits for the last 2 weeks, highlighting the devastating economic impact of coronavirus as shutdowns widen across the country. About 450,000 of them were New Yorkers, according to the state's Department of Labor. Only California, Pennsylvania, and Ohio saw more claims. During the Great Recession, the majority of states exhausted their unemployment insurance reserves and either borrowed from the U.S. Treasury or issued bonds to rebuild their trusts, according to the Kroll Bond Raid Agency. States that have rebuilt reserves, such as Georgia and North Carolina, will have less pressure to raise unemployment taxes, Kroll wrote in a report. New York's trust fund has a solvency level of 0.36 as of December 31st, where a level of 1 point means the state could pay out claims for a year at the average level of the worst 3 years of the past 20. According to the U.S. Labor Department, California, Texas, New York, Illinois, Ohio, and Pennsylvania are among the 22 states and jurisdictions that do not meet the recommended standard of solvency. Only California's unemployment trust fund is in worse shape than New York's, according to the department, almost as if the most liberal states also have to be the most insolvent. It gets worse. There are now nearly twice as many people claiming or already receiving unemployment benefits as they were over the comparison period, meaning that with current claims, states would run out twice as fast, the Tax Foundation Walzak wrote. The economic stimulus signed by President Donald Trump provides additionally federally funded benefits to unemployed workers and expands eligibility to previously uncovered workers, but states are still on the hook for regular benefits. The states will have to borrow from the federal government. And you know where the federal government gets its money? From the Federal Reserve, where we pay taxes and debt on every dollar that we are given. While New York employers will eventually face higher federal unemployment insurance taxes to compensate the federal government for extending loans to the state, Walzak wrote, who clearly is unaware that under helicopter money, nobody will pay anything ever again. And instead, the perpetual Minsky moment will be stretched forever, defying every law of finance and physics, just because the Fed will monetize it all and everyone will live happier ever after. Yeah, not looking good. Not looking good. This is goldandsilver.com. I just want to keep checking. I'm buying a bar gold soon, so just want to check it out. Low is 1717, back to like a good, somewhat of a good price. Only paying $100 over premium. Looking at gold at 1616. I'll pay $100 over gold, but I'm not. $200 is insane. And last time I went to do an add it to cart, it said it wouldn't get till June. Now it just says a couple weeks. Delivery delayed 3 to 5 weeks. That's all right. So grab that up. I would grab a little bit of silver up as well, and this is where I would purchase it, at goldsilver.com. This is the place right here. So I should get an affiliate link to this, man. Maybe an insider program, invest with us, sell to us, log in, create an account, track an order, common questions, contact, accessibility, shipping, user agreement. What's the insider program? It's you kind of pay for more, and he tells you when you should buy and sell and stuff like that. Become an insider. If you purchase just 500 ounces of silver or 10 ounces of gold over your lifetime as a gold silver customer, once you reach the threshold, you're an insider automatically and gain access to all programs and benefits immediately. Yeah, there you go. What's the market for me washing cars in my shorts? Because I'm like 1 week out from that. Damn, man. What do you mean, like in your tight shorts? Like getting spandex? No, man, I'm serious. I won't be paying rent this month. I'm actually going to talk about that with my landlord in the next couple days. I'm just going to say, hey, I'm not paying rent anymore. It is what it is.
It's either buy groceries or pay rent, so.
I'm a bartender in a couple neighborhood bars. Since de Blasio closed all bars and restaurants, I was immediately furloughed, of course. I don't know if I'm going to have jobs after this is over, if either the businesses I worked for are going to survive. I applied for a job at Trader Joe's. I used to work at a grocery store before, and they were hiring just for this crisis. And my mom convinced me not to get on a train to the interview and not to get on a train every day to keep risking my health and others' health.
My name is Maxwell Paparella, and I'm rent striking with my neighbors to cancel rent in New York. We're demanding that the state house unhoused New Yorkers in the units that we have available, subsidize in state-owned housing, and to make a massive reinvestment in things like public housing. We have 2/3 of the building currently participating, and we're hoping to have everyone on board by May. I think we made a pretty reasonable offer to our landlord. We offered that the entire building should have a 50% rent reduction with the option to go as high as 100% reduction during the crisis for those units that had lost all income. And they didn't respond substantively, so now we're on strike. And we hope that we will
send me that.
Bargain with them.
Like I said, Google.
We also think that landlords and real estate investors and these kind of interests are probably the best situated right now to absorb some of the shock, some of the fallout from this crisis, the effect it's having on our economy. It's certainly not renters in New York who should be absorbing that hit.
We're always being told as renters, like, you need to have 3 months of rent saved for a rainy day. I want to know where the landlords with multi-million-dollar real estate investment portfolios, where their rainy day fund is for, a global pandemic like this. Like, it should not fall on us as renters. It should fall on the people who have so many resources to be able to look out for the most vulnerable.
All of my coworkers would love to do something like this. They don't have someone who organizes it in their building, but this is something. At
Crypto Lifer 33, where I tweet, talk about different things. Something's up with my network real quick. I don't know what happened. I do use a VPN, so there's a chance something got interrupted. Let me make sure my stream is still live, though. Yeah. Grant's on the 50. Grant. Wow, my stream was just completely all right, come on. Come on. We're back. My VPN took me down for things. Something's up with my network real quick. I don't know what happened. All right, it was my VPN, guys. My VPN got in the way. Chance something got interrupted. Let me make sure my stream is still live. I'm back. Yeah, see, my stream just got kiboshed. We don't know why. Something's happening to my internet right now as we speak. Let's see here. All right. Okay. Let me send that interview that you sent me. Remind me later. Come on, man. It's easier if you email me, man, because then I got to do this while I'm working. Scooty. Yeah, something happened to my stream. We just got shut off completely. Scooty-o Looty, Scooty-o me. All right, cool. All right, still getting some weird connection issues here. We're spinning around when I'm watching my own channel here. Grant's on the 50. It's so far back on me. Wow, my stream was just completely no, man, I have good bandwidth. I don't know what's going on. I've got good topics to go over. I got a lot of stuff to discuss. It's just like I'm being manipulated. Stream is just spinning and spinning, man. Oh, this is sad. Do I really have to end the stream and reallocate it again? It's weird, like, because this is my stream, but then... All right, come on. All right, come on. All right, we're back. We're back. My VPN took me down and things. Something's up with my network real quick. I don't know what happened.
My name is
my VPN
probably the best situated right now to absorb some of the shock, some of the fallout from this crisis, the effect it's having on our economy. It's certainly
the worst mask ever. Look, there's no connection there.
That hit.
You know, we're always being told as renters, like, you need to have 3 months of rent saved.
Organize it in their building, but this is something that needs to happen in all buildings right now.
We as tenants are pressuring landlords to use their power to influence the government and the banks to allow a rent cancellation and a mortgage cancellation until this crisis is over.
We need politicians to be in this with us. We need the banks to be in this with us. We need everyone to come together. In crisis, we need to come together and not fight each one for ourselves. We can't have profiteering in this situation.
All right, so back into the mix of what we're talking about here. All right, and let's jump back into the markets. So, people basically not paying rent en masse. That's going to cause a lot of defaults on buildings. That's going to cause a real estate bubble. If you don't realize we're in a real estate bubble already, you just haven't been paying attention to the signs. Appreciate you coming onto the stream now and learning, because why not, right? I mean, we got to show people what is happening here. All right, let me do a deep dive on Bitcoin today. I wanted to erase my old Bitcoin work like this, and I wanted to start from scratch. And actually, this is like a learning curve too for anyone who's just beginning trading or wants to see a little bit about what trading is all about. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to establish a bottom, okay? And what you do is you find the lowest point you can for Bitcoin. So here we stream down, and we hit it right here. So we put our first level of support. That means the price bounced off this level. It has support here. So that's something that we see that's happening, okay? Internet bandwidth test, okay? You want to see what I got going? It's a internet speed test. I do this all the time, actually. But yeah, speed test .do. Do a speed test. Never use this one though. I use a better site, well, a cooler looking site. But my download 0.0 megabits a second. No way, man. No way. No way. I don't buy this one. This site's doing something funky. Let me see here. Speedtest.net. This is where you want to go. This is my favorite one. Gonna do a speed test. Starry Inc. Boston, Mass. Right? Verizon. Tekashi69 out of prison. Really? That's interesting. It's definitely interesting to see. So download speeds damn near a gig. That's amazing, right? 789.71. That's really, really good. These are amazing speeds. Upload speed is doing amazing as well. See? So, dude, look at my speeds, man. You do a speed test. You show me your speeds. Zoom, Madden, EA, possible problems. Dude, I would love to get like radio provider, Verizon. Look at that. 938 megabits per second. Almost a gig a second. And a gig almost, 789. That is insane. I was getting way less stuff before. So that's insane. All right. So there you go, Scott. I did what you asked for. All right. Now the stream itself seems like really far behind now at this point. Like this. And I wanted to start from scratch. And actually, this is like a learning curve too. Not too bad. Okay. So let's get back into Bitcoin. So we have our low level here. Then we hit our low, which I can't believe it, but I do a wick. But we put another low here, but we wick through. And then we have this level here that really spikes. You can see we hit it twice here for kind of what you would think would have been a double bottom. And then we're fighting this level again. So this 6,600 level is just huge, huge, huge support and resistance. Here we had heavy support. We messed with it here. And look how much we messed with this level here, 5,800. So you can start identifying the peaks and values, the valleys here. This 1,308 region, 14,000 basically. Around there is the tough region. And yeah, and there's some other places in between right here at 9,300. We see some also. So once you establish these regions, these are where you should be taking profits. This is where the big boys are taking profits. This is where algorithms are being traded on. There's a lot of automation. So you just got to understand that that's basically happening. So, okay. So what do I see for Bitcoin? What's happening for Bitcoin? Well, we did hit a low, a higher low, and we have yet another higher low here. Interesting to see. We did spike up. We got beat back down by that 7,100 range. We did break above the moving average here, which is strong, and now that could hold that support. Also with this line, I think a good place to buy Bitcoin now would be a nice 66,000, 6,050. So I'm going to wait for 6,050. And I was thinking we were going to go down to 4,500. This white line here kind of was my line in the sand. I don't think we go into the 3,000s again, but nothing is guaranteed anymore. I don't know. But that's just something I'm seeing for Bitcoin. So what would I do for Bitcoin right now? Well, I would be buying it always, like $200 to $500 a month, always, no matter what the price. And then I would be looking at areas to get in on. And, you know, we were very oversold. Last time we were oversold here, and we kept making our way back up to the overbought region. So we could flatline here, kind of play games, maybe a little bit of a reset back down to 6,000. And then I say we go back to 8,000. So I think there's some gains coming for Bitcoin. We're also getting into the halving. Soon you just want to be in it no matter what. I don't think you want to miss the halving pump because it's going to happen. It's obvious, especially with what's happening now. More and more people understand. So Verizon screws you. I got Fios, man. You just saw, man, my speeds. Let's run another test. Because you know what? I've never seen speeds that good. My speeds weren't that good when I first started, so I just want to run another test. But dude, yeah, I'm happy with that. You know, I'm really happy with these speeds. Honestly. Can't complain at all. Can't complain at all. Yeah, anything above 900 on an upload, I'm taking that. These are great speeds. Got a brand new Wi-Fi router that's like pretty intense too. It's one of their new ones. Probably gonna burn my brain out, but right. Gold holding 1650, doing well. The Dow just keeps going down. It's a Friday, low volume. Almost funny though, if we look at Bitcoin. So it's one of the hardest. This I thought was going to become a head and shoulders. If this comes back down, we kind of still do have a shoulder, a head, and another shoulder. It'll be like a complex head and shoulders or like a messy head and shoulders, but it still is. The volume was also starting to decrease, so that means that this move is kind of ending, right? Like decrease in volume is the end of the movement. Just something you want to think about. So yeah. I still can't believe Bitcoin took that dump, man. 4,100 buy right there was the move. So you really have to buy in fear. Whenever it's an insane day and like your blood pressure is rolling and you see everything going down, get into Bitcoin. Get into gold. I can't say it enough. I think all the market here is going to crash really, really bad. Way worse than you've been seeing, like you've never thought possible. So I just want to bring that to your radar. I'm going to say it today as a huge warning. Get out of the equity markets. Get out of the equity market. Stop thinking it's going to be your dream house or your thing. Get into some gold. Get into some Bitcoin. Find maybe some altcoins too. Chainlink is going to hold value during this, I believe, at 235 right now. XTZ, which will pay you 6% dividends a year at 172. These are coins that I think are really worth having and picking up. Cardano, I think, will run the world at one point. I think it's going to have extreme big movement. Only sitting at 3 cents. The fact that you can still get Cardano under 5 cents is unbelievable. But let's look at Bitcoin today. Green day. Bitcoin up 3%, damn near. Ethereum almost up 5%. XRP up 3%. XRP holding good at this 18-cent range. Like to see that. Tether at 1 cent. I don't like when Tether's anywhere over $1 or below $1 because that means it could be at 99 cents, right? I hold in Tether a lot as I wait to buy into a lot of other coins. So Bitcoin SV up 5.5%, making big moves at 179. Litecoin up almost 2.6% or 2.6 at 40, breaking that 40 again. Tezos, Monero, my favorite coin in the world, man. I love Monero. 53.61, looking really good. Stellar, Cardano, Chainlink, everything up today. And let's see some of the biggest gainers, right? So we have this coin up 121%. Swipe coin, who even knows? With 55 million in volume at 83 cents, but that's pretty interesting. Gozma, Ethereum, and now I think 5,296 coins now. Komodo, which is on my radar, back up to 48 cents. Komodo usually sitting at 80 to $1, so up 30% on Komodo. That's definitely something. Pivot token, P-Chain, One Ledger, Credit Coin. A lot of these coins I never even heard about. Volume Network, Consentium, the Kick token though. That's pretty interesting. Up 20% today. Something you want to look at. Yeah. So But yeah, the big one the only one I actually would have been in is Komodo. Komodo, man. Like Komodo, you see a lot of them are just dropping down into low values again, back where they were here. This is like a bottoming. So I think once Bitcoin kind of comes through with the halving, everyone's going to sell their altcoins. They're just going to dump them and jump into Bitcoin. You're going to see an altcoin flop. And I think that will be the day to buy altcoins, honestly, is as Bitcoin hits like a nice peak, should have some money on the side for altcoins. It's like a hard game to play. You have to be in it to win it all the time. But yeah, still looking at Atom Coin too. Something now it's breaking out of this channel here. We can kind of move our work. We can either say it broke out of the triangle, or we can move our work. And I do that regularly depending on how I feel about the situation, how it looks, right? So if we look at it though, it's kind of like in a bull, more of like a bull flag or a bear flag, really, because it came down into a bear mark. See, the pole is down here. We could break back up though to the top of the trend line at 214. Nice little scalp of like 10%. I think this is really coming, but we do need to see Bitcoin move up. If Bitcoin moves down, it takes all these USDT pairs down with it. But I still see 47% gains coming for Atom. Something to look at. But you know what? I can't make a trade recently. I've been sitting on the sidelines and just waiting because Link made people some money recently. Went up from like 196 all the way to 31, so it went up 20%. And a lot of people were making leverage gains on that. Cardano's been doing all right. Zcash, things of that nature. What are the big winners today on my list? Just so you can see what I'm looking at. So shorting the S&P, that's the only equity I would own right now, is shorting the S&P. And you see we're going to come out of a MACD cross with hidden bullish divergence, flatlining out of it. This is going to spike up pretty hard. I think if you buy it now, it's a really good time to buy. I think you'll gap up on Monday morning into some huge gains as we have more deaths and more pain throughout the weekend. It's going to spell a disaster for the bond market, going to spell a disaster for the stock market. And we also had hidden bullish divergence telling us that this will continue. And look, it did. Just as I said, we wrote this right here. We had our candle, boom, we had our move up. This is going to continue to move up. As you see, it broke above the 200-day moving average, this yellow line here, and it's holding a strong support. So this is holding strong support right now, and it's pretty damn close to that strong support, 25.42. The support is sitting at 25.38, and we're at 26.42. So not a lot of losses here. If you do decide to get into the SPXU, this is my trade of the day actually right now. My safest trade of the day. This is what I think people should be getting into. Just something to throw out there. So that's what I think with the markets today is just short the S&P and then sell it on Monday or Tuesday before they try to pump the market up like a 500. Now they can really only pump the market up by like 500 little bits. All these little pumps are really just like band-aids on huge bloody cuts, just trying to slow the bleeding, right? They're just kind of slow the bleeding, but it's only going to get worse. I do see Bitcoin going back down to 6,100, 6,000 range, and I won't be surprised if we do touch this 4,500 range. I just think there could be a double bottom coming, and then we're off to the races. But hey, who knows, you know? You never know, but that's what I'm calling for. That's what I'm hoping for. If not, then I have to buy Bitcoin at 8,000 with about 6,000. I only end up getting, right, 0.6 Bitcoin instead of getting a whole Bitcoin, which I had at 5,300. So it's a tough road. I'm always playing the game whether I want to buy the Bitcoin now and just hold it and watch the floppery, which I've done so many times, or do I want to actually just wait for the perfect time? Sometimes it never is the perfect time. But that's why I'm always buying at least a couple $100 a month, no matter what the price. So that keeps me in the game, keeps me figuring these things out, you know. Sorry that they throttle your internet, Scott. I'm here in the middle of nowhere, so I don't get throttled too bad here. But yeah, go to goldsilver.com. This is where I buy my precious metals. Buy a bar of gold for yourself with your stimulus. I think the first thing you should do is buy gold with that stimulus. If you get $1,200 check, buy some gold with it. It will only help you in the end if you don't have to buy food or rent at that time. But at the same time, I think rent's over. I don't think I'll be paying rent again. I'll just be moving my things out of my apartment. It's sad to say that, but yeah, I don't know when I'm going to text my landlord and just say, hey, I don't think I'm paying rent this month. And he's going to be like, what? I should just send him this video. Like, yeah, I'm on rent strike with a lot of people. This is interesting.
Me that I should go live because the price of Bitcoin is going completely ham. I was not going live, and I was not really trusting this all too much. I needed confirmation that this does not just end up as a fake out, which is exactly what happened. The price of Bitcoin peaked at approximately 7,300.
Yeah, it was one of the first times I didn't get too excited about it. I got a little mad. I was like, damn, I should have bought. I sold at 6,500, and I've been waiting for my re-entry. Just really patiently waiting. And Bitcoin's like really trying to suck you in. Like they really try to bring these prices so they can just stop you out and take your money. I mean, BitMEX taking $65 million the other day. Like they're making so much money
on exchanges. Then we had a massive sell-off again, and we're now currently back below 7,000 US dollars at 6,800 approximately while I'm recording this video. If we have a look at the 4-hour chart in here, which is the most interesting one short term for me personally right now, we still see the decline in volume, but obviously there was quite a nice volume spike in here. We're gonna see that on Messari as well in a second. That was due to this wick in here to the upside. But if we have a look at this, I think we can all agree so far this is only a fake out. But the ascending triangle did not break to the downside or anything like that. So it could be that we're still going to be ranging in this consolidation phase in here and then break out later on. That is absolutely possible. Of course, there is also the chance to break to the downside, but as I've told you in the yesterday's video, this breakout to the upside that we have seen yesterday was definitely way more likely because we have an ascending structure in here, we have higher lows, we have the decline in volume, which obviously could indicate breakout to both sides, but all this together indicated to me that the breakout to the upside is more likely. But it ended as a fake out, so we have to reevaluate the situation right now, but the situation did not change. If
it's annoying how these guys just can't say the English language the right way. Situation. I'm so rude right now, right? I think it's Swedish. They're Swedish people or something, right? But it's like, just, you know, just like say some of the words right. He says video.
Now, and compare that to yesterday, we're almost trading on $2 billion US dollars on 10 real exchanges over the last 24 hours. That is actually quite a bit. So this move definitely held some significance, and it was not just a weekend pump and dump action. Okay, so traders are really interested in defending the levels where we are right now in both directions, bullish and bearish directions. A fake out to approximately 7,300, now back in the trading range of this ascending triangle, but the situation looks kind of the same as it did yesterday. But now let's move on to bigger time frames, and that is once again the Bitcoin monthly chart. And something not that many people are talking about anymore, which is actually a little bit confusing, is the Bitcoin halving, which is coming up in approximately 40 days. Only approximately 40 days left due to the Bitcoin halving. What is going to happen? Well, most probably the price of Bitcoin is not going to pump on the day of the halving. That would not really make any sense, except for if the price would be manipulated on that day. But the inflation of Bitcoin is gonna get halved. Currently, miners are getting 12.5 BTC for every block, approximately every 10 minutes. But after the Bitcoin halving, only 6.25 BTC. So on a daily basis, miners don't have 1,800 Bitcoin to sell anymore, but only 900. If you think about the constant selling pressure we have seen in this bear market from the miners and also from others obviously, but from the miners, that selling pressure is getting cut in half. And that is absolutely amazing long term. And here we're going to work on our prediction of 70,000 US dollars and why, and also why that is too conservative. So what we have seen so far in the past is a gain from the first halving to the second top of approximately 10,000%. Now from the second halving to the third top, it was approximately only 3,000%. Does that make sense? Yes, absolutely, because it takes way more money to pump the price of Bitcoin when there's already more liquidity in the market already. So first we had a 10,000% gain, then we had a 3,000% gain. Now what if we're only gonna get a 1,000% gain from the halving? And we're gonna calculate that.
Why do you think I do this and I don't say anything?
Approximately 7,000 US dollars, because that is the range where we are in right now. And if we add 1,000%, well, that is times 10, right? So 7,000 US dollars times 10, that will bring us to a price of 70,000 US dollars approximately. Now, the big question is, when is this going to happen? And for this, I have a very simple theory, and I've already been talking about that. At this point, I would say we all agree that the price of Bitcoin is going in 4-year cycles. Why is that? Because of the Bitcoin halving. And it makes perfect sense. People are getting hyped for the halving, then by the rumor, sell the news, people are selling it off again, people are exaggerating, a bubble is creating, then the bubble is getting sold off, then a bear market is creating, and so on, right? It is also human psychology, which is basically getting regulated more or less, or which is getting structured by the 4-year Bitcoin halving cycles. And I think that is more or less exactly what we have seen also for the tops and the bottoms, of course, plus minus a couple months. But we have seen the top in December 2017. So December 2017 plus 4 years, well, that brings us to December 2021. I know that is kind of sad to hear because a lot of people expected that this year we're going to